Hi everyone, Adam again. So in this video, I'm going to go over the advanced search functionality of this thing, and I'm also going to show you how to add information to it and how that updates. So if you remember, in our last video, we went through the article database. This is where we enter in information, and we can also navigate through it a little bit by clicking on filters, and that helps narrow down our search results. The advanced search, what it adds is the ability to get a little bit more granular with things. So, for example, we can look for results between certain years, results with mean ages of the participants between a certain range, same thing with the number of subjects and sample sizes and things like that. And all this stuff is interchangeable. You can put anything that you want in your table and it'll all correspond to what you're trying to do. So if you wanted to put in effect sizes or mean heights or something else, you could also put those in these columns instead of what's there, and you could use this criteria to filter out results in that way. So this has kind of three areas. The first is the digits search area, which uses numbers to search the results. Then there's a keyword search area where you type in letters and it'll search through certain things. And then there's a category search where you select different topics or different things within categories and it'll filter the results that way. So I'll go through each of these one by one. For me, I have a year. So if I wanted to pick a different year range, let's say 2018 to 2020, I only have 15 search results within that range, and those are the results. And I should mention that this works the same way as the article database, where we can, if this is, we don't want to scroll a lot, we can collapse the top of it and just look through our results that way. And similarly, if we want our extra columns to show up, we can click on that button here and we can kind of see more information about each of our articles. So I just ungrouped, or I just made everything come back. Now, so I want articles between 2018 and 2020, and let's say mean age has to be greater than 20 years old. That's because between 20 and 1,000, if I wanted it to be less than 20 years old, or less than or equal to 20 years old, I would put that 0, and I would make this 20. Now this is all the results with less than 20 years old, and we can confirm that by opening this up, looking at the mean ages, and notice all the ages are less than 20 for all these papers that are in our list now. So let's say that that's our criteria, and you can imagine the same thing works for sample size, which is n. So now let's go through the keyword search. Now let's say I want all the articles between 2018 and 2020, but also the author has to have BR in their name. If I type in BR here, now notice one author within this criteria has BR, and that's Brown. And it doesn't have to be at the front of the word, it could be anywhere. But so if I just remove the R and now it's B, I got Bishop and Brown. Let's see if I remove this search here, go all the way back to 1970. I'm still looking for authors with a B in their name. See how Kobayashi is in there? He has a B in his name, but it's not the first letter, so he stays. If I remove it, now I get all my results back. One of them doesn't count as a result because in my database, I don't have the fields filled out that I need to fill out. But the same thing works with key points. So you'll see I have key points here. I noticed the word asymmetry. If I type in asym, oh, well, I guess there's only one, so that's a bad example. But let's see, agree. Agree looks like it comes up a couple times. If I'm looking for something with agree in it, now I have all my filtered results by the key points that say agree. And let's say that I just want the articles by Bishop. Again, I can use combinations of these things where I just type in Bish and the other author goes away. So you could imagine that the same thing works for key metrics. except the key metrics I don't actually display in here. They're over in this expanded area. Again, you're just gonna have to trust that it kind of works for what you have, and you can always check it. So I have unilateral a lot, and I'll leave this open for now. So if I'm looking for unilateral, then now I only have 20 results here, and they should all contain whatever I just typed in there in the key metrics field. And remember, this is not where we enter information. This is taking information that's entered from here. And the last area is category search. Again, combinations of all these things can be used together. So for subtopics, this will automatically pull in a list of all of my subtopics that are in my database. So right now, notice it is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I also include a blank one in case I don't want to filter on any subtopic. But if I go into my article database and add a new subtopic, I'm not going to add anything else. I'm just going to go into my database, go to the end of it. Maybe I'll use the collapse feature like I did. And the column subtopic, I'm going to add a new one. I'm going to call it Adam's subtopic. I'm going to go back to my advanced search, look at my subtopics, and now Adam's subtopic is a choice. If I filter by that, I mean, I don't have anything here because I didn't put in any information. But if I pick a different one, it'll pull up my articles with that. I pretty much did everything on symmetry, so that's where most of my articles lie right now. So if I want more than just the symmetry subtopic, let's say I want to narrow down by a sport, I can pick, let's say, I don't know, soccer. Now notice my results got narrowed down. And this is cool because these are ors, so it's soccer or another sport that I enter in here. Whereas when you're combining these across, it's and. So I'm looking for any article that's between 1970 and 2020 and an author name that contains this and a subtopic and a sport and a level. But within each category, it's okay, so I want a subtopic that's symmetry and a sport that is either soccer or, I don't know. Let's see if I add in mixed. Now this list will be soccer and mixed as the sports. So there's kind of a combination, and you have to know how it works. That's why I'm going over it to use it effectively. And the way that you get rid of this soccer search is this has the top one that you fill out has to be blank to remove it from the search criteria. So for example, this is blank and I put in symmetry here, it's not going to do anything because the first one is blank. So you start from the top and you add however many ors you want in a category, so soccer or mixed or football, whatever it is, and that's how it searches things out, or how it filters things out. So that's how this works. And how you update information, we already saw it actually with me adding the Adam subtopic. And if I go to my article database too, remember I added that record called Adam subtopic. If I open this up, you'll notice that in my subtopic area, I can filter by Adam subtopic in this area. And again, there's no other information there, but you'll notice that things, they just update when you enter in information. The total papers in my database is still 47. This updates when a new author is entered in, or a new author record is entered in. So it's 47 right now. If I enter in an author, let's say Virgil, that's my last name. Now we have another paper added to our database, and all be highlightable, searchable. And if I just add in some fake data, I'm going to do 2025. Hello. Paper. I don't know. I'm just adding random things. Cool stuff. I'm going to say Adam. I don't really know what I'm entering in here, but I'm just entering in. And you notice as I'm doing this, these are updating. So the sport now contains Adam. I could filter by that if I want to. That's the only sport that has Adam. And similarly, cool stuff is now a main topic and all that stuff. And if I still want to highlight the author, say VIR, I'm still going to highlight the new authors that get added in. And then if I go to the advanced search area with this new record, if you will, my list should update also. So now I'm looking for years between 1970 and 2020. Now 2025, I should be able to do that too now. And the search results returned didn't change. That's because I didn't fill out the necessary information that I'm collecting to have it be, to have it count, if you will. So that's how that works. And similarly, the subtopics and all these things. So Adam's subtopic is now updated for sports. I think Adam was my sport. Adam is now there. Levels. I think I just wrote Adam again. Adam is now a level. And again, if I kind of select that, no matches are going to be found. So that's an important thing for an article to be available for the advanced search. In the database, you just need to make sure that you fill out all the information that's necessary. And for me, that's pretty much all of it. So you want everything and all of it, except for, I guess, these three in this I didn't include. So just make sure that all the information is filled out based on what you're deciding to collect here, and you shouldn't have a problem. So if I just add in more information, say 999, 57, say 123, I think that's all I need. And if I go back to my advanced search now, and I go up to 2025, now the record will show up. And the order of this list, you cannot sort this list. So this list, the way that you sort it is through here. So for example, you can sort this by anything that you want. Let's say that I want to sort it by year, largest to smallest. It'll sort here, which is cool. And then in the advanced search, you'll see that sort take place also. This is not a table. I mean, this is a little bit above and beyond what we need to go over, but this is not a table, so I cannot sort it on the fly. This is, so I can use these little arrow things to sort by anything that I want that's in my column. So I'm going to sort this back, author A to Z. And I'm going to go back here, and now it's author A to Z, so Virgil will show up at the end. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to remove that record that I added. And the way that I can do that is I can go through each of these things and delete it, or I can just select the row, right click, and say delete. And when I do that, all these things update. My search results return, my search total papers update. If I go to my advanced search now, 2025 isn't even alive, even though it's selected, so I'll have to select 2020. And again, if I go to my subtopics, Adam, whatever I put in there isn't there. The Adam sport is not there anymore, etc. So that's how this works. I don't think I'm really going to go over the control panel. I'll go over it very quickly. Essentially, these are formulas that are getting lists from our database. So when we enter new stuff in our database, they get put into these lists and calculations, which then get integrated into these frameworks so that you can use them. I hope this was beneficial, and let me know if you have any questions.